If you're starting a real estate platform, or if you just want to up your marketing and you're thinking, hey, I want to try a podcast, and you haven't the foggiest idea of where to start, this week's guest will have you take him on his journey of what that looked like. And it's pretty interesting. Stay tuned. Darrin, that's you,
that
correct?
Is I.
And you are in the studio.
Yes.
Because you just got done recording part of the OfferIn podcast.
That's right.
You are the CEO of OfferIn.
Yes.
I'm getting all these questions right so far. So far, so good. What I have, real estate offer management platform.
That's right.
It's a unique I mean, in having you guys do this in the studio and all the research we did with it and stuff like that, it's a unique thing. We'll talk a little bit about that, but really, I mean, I'm here to talk podcasting.
That's right. Understood.
That's what everyone's here to listen to. You started, your background's in healthcare administration.
Yep.
Seems very similar to having a real estate tech startup.
That's exactly right.
Both very, very similar things. When did you think podcast for this tech startup?
Yeah. So it's actually, we are not super at marketing, which is what you need to do to get the word out. I think this is not a technology problem for us, not a software problem, because we believe it's super awesome, but we believe it's a marketing problem. So the idea to bring value to your audience essentially that's the goal of what we're looking to do.
It's funny you say that, because I think so many marketing pieces miss that. They just like shout from the rooftops, hey, this is what we do. Here we are.
Yeah.
We're wonderful. Before you started this, I'm assuming there were some doubts. I know there were some doubts because we had some conversations.
Yes, for sure.
So, but first off, you're launching a show for a brand new company. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're not global yet.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Like when you sit there, we're going to do a podcast. What do you think?
Yeah. So a lot of it is, this is a unique product. So in real estate, offer management systems are rare. They really don't exist throughout the platform of real estate. So we felt there was an educational component that people needed to understand the value of this space. So initially it was like, great, we'll have an educational podcast about offer management. You know, there's only so much you can say. It's like, hey, offers are chaotic, use a software, no longer chaotic. That's about it.
Podcast
over. So I'm like, if we want a half of an episode, then let's do that. But we love the idea. We feel like there is so much. It's a different way of approaching your business. And so it's like we needed to educate folks on that. So getting the word out through a podcast, long form video type podcast was really, for us, something that felt super critical. Podcasting in general, I'm a podcast geek. So I love them. So for me, I'm already bent towards the idea of doing a podcast. Like, wow, this could be really fun. Our audience for our software is real estate agents. So the podcast is made for real estate agents. And there really isn't a significant number of podcasts out there in real estate. There are some, for sure. But not a ton. So it felt like the space needed something, and then the approach to what can we do to bring value and build a community of people, of like-minded people that want to do great things. Yes, the product itself is actually probably not relevant for a significant chunk of the real estate agents, but the value that we can bring to that audience is. And so it's not just, hey, how do we market to our ideal customer profile, to that 1 out of 10 people that would love the product. It's like, no, how do we market to all 10 of those people and bring value to all 10 of them, even if only 1 of the 10 use the product? So I think some of it was like, hey, here's our heart. Let's give the knowledge that we have.
In so many of the podcasts that we talk about, the success depends on the mindset of it. And it's that giving mindset that I truly love, is when you're there for your audience to give them something. Yeah. That is when you will get an audience. They're giving you their time.
That's right.
And it, as I always like to joke, it's an intimate thing too, because they are literally, like, many of these people are inserting you in their ears. which sounds really creepy, and it kind of is, but it is that closeness that builds with that.
That's good. Yeah.
You mentioned, like, initially you thought, oh, we're just going to get on the mics and talk. Mm-hmm. I was upset about that.
Were you?
To put it politely, and we started to build a structure to it. Mm-hmm. Like, as you've started to do the podcast, you guys are 6-8 episodes in now?
I believe so, yeah. 8, 9 maybe.
Yeah. What's been the big surprise for you in terms of, like, from when you thought, here's what a podcast is, to when we started the process and you're like, oh.
Yeah. Truly, it's the structure behind it, asking the right questions, because it's not just for me to get up here in front of a microphone and share what's on my mind. It's really for the audience, right? So mentally, physically being here, leading an interview and discussion, but also understanding, like, what we're trying to do is get the audience to hear something that's they're going to engage with, right? So I think essentially it was like, great, let's get up there, like you said, just grab a microphone and start chit-chatting. You know, it was really intimidating at first. Like, when you come in and you're like, whoa, these are microphones. You could hear yourself in these cool little headphones. And
there's the lights, there's cameras.
There's like a TV on the wall with the logo and stuff. It's like, whoa, this is for real. And so feeling the seriousness of it, and I'm joking, but also serious, like, and then understanding that the way you ask questions for an audience to see something as binge worthy. Sure. Right. It's like, I want to be able to have a podcast that brings so much value that I want to watch another episode.
Yep.
Right. So, and I would say the second thing is what I really love about it is learning and growing as an individual, and being able to say, like, hey, I can get better at this. And I think of, in my mind, our first couple episodes, you're like, hey, good job. And that's like a 4 out of a 10.
well,
Here
Ben,
I thought
Ben
it was
would,
a 10.
Ben would push me on that. He'd be like, rate it from 1 to 10. And he's like, be honest. And I'm like,
yeah.
Do you really want that?
Hey, I thought you'd just come in here and be good. All it is talking. I thought it was 10 out of 10. But there's so much more to it. And it's been so fun to, like, learn the skill of podcasting.
Sure. Mm-hmm. It's to me is like the last episode you just recorded, that the questions were sharp and pointed and stuff like that. And to me, it's the benefit to the you and to the audience that you're going to get from that. But the other thing that I find that's interesting, and one of the things that I like about the podcast is, like, you work, it's been Ben and Kevin in here with you. You're typically the host. They're on, like, we'll call them the panel or the co-host, okay. But you're the driver. Mm-hmm. You're in the driver's seat. You tell them when to shut up. You tell them when to talk. To me, I've always found that I feel closer to the people after I've asked direct. You're in the office with them all the time.
Sure.
But when you ask directed questions, you're like, oh, that was different. Mm-hmm. That's not what I expected him to say.
Yep. Yeah. Some of that has been super fun. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You work with these guys all the time, but you still have the chance to learn from them. And that to me is kind of cool. Mm-hmm. The business impact. Mm-hmm. You guys are just starting here.
Yep.
This is, we're not Joe Rogan numbers yet. We are, just the decimal point is in a very, very different place.
Yeah.
You've mentioned that it's been fun.
Uh-huh.
Have you seen another impact? Have you felt another impact from the podcasting with it yet?
So it does bring value and credibility.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, because that's something that, credibility and building that trust with your audience. If you're doing it, it's like, oh, this is legit, right? Like everything for us being a startup business and having just under 500 customers at this point, is really, really good progress. I mean, officially it's been on the market a year. The podcast is something that for us, it's been that credibility factor.
Sure.
And when you're inviting people, like connecting with people, we're going to have a bunch of new guests come on the podcast, which is fun and exciting. It's like, we are not the heroes. They are the hero, and we're guiding them through this journey.
I like that.
And so that's been something that, like, has been the shift. You even mentioned Joe Rogan. I was thinking about this, like, one of the things that I've enjoyed, another one of the things I've enjoyed is learning as a person how to lead a podcast, right? Building out these skills. And so asking the right questions is actually important. It's really important to get the right information out. And if I'm able to ask the right question, then you're going to get a better response, which then generates, hopefully a better listening experience. Joe Rogan is an expert at asking the right questions. And so, that's a skill I am still learning, and I feel getting better with each podcast. Right? I'm getting better with each one.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, seriously, you are. It's been fun to watch because we get some hosts that have just come in and are like, I'm just going to do the thing.
Yeah.
They come in as a pro. And they still leave as the same amateur they came in as.
Yeah.
Whereas there's that constant learning.
Mm-hmm.
I also found it interesting. You said you have listened to a few of them, correct?
Yes.
Of your own?
Yep.
It's something that I always recommend because you go back and you listen and you're like, oh, I do the annoying thing. I've found what my annoyances are and what I do when I go back and listen to them. And I'm like, dude, stop doing that. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's really tough. It's brutal. It's absolutely brutal to do. What is like a lesson, or what's the big lesson that you've pulled from the podcast itself? Is there a point that like you've said, like, be it directly related to the podcast or a life lesson that you've pulled out from being in the studio or taught the conversations with Ben and Kevin? Because they're a couple of lively guys and they work very differently.
Super different.
I mean, one's very, I would describe Kevin as when he gives you an answer, it is here.
The answer.
It's straight there.
Yeah.
Ben thinks about he thinks out loud how to get to his answer. Mm-hmm. Both of them are equally brilliant. It's in different ways. Is there something that you've pulled from managing that type of interaction?
Truly, I just love moderating. I love, I think that's the thing. I didn't know that I would like it. I know that may sound just really basic.
And that it's a skill.
Yeah, but it's just something that I actually think I really like. It is some of the most fun. We come in once a month, ish, yeah, and record for a couple hours and have content for that month, maybe a couple months. So the goal is to try to, be in the studio to record content for the next little while, right? It is some of the most fun we have for the entire month is being able to come in and do the podcast. I don't know what it is. It's just, there's something I can connect with that is on a personal level that it's just like, this is really fun. So I don't know if I answer your question appropriately, but like a life lesson, I'm like, I really like it. I think
there's ways to have fun with it. Mm-hmm. To me, that shows through in like your personality online. When someone goes and looks at it, you're not just sitting here like, damn it, how much longer do I have to do this for? Looking back, is there a mistake that you're like, oh yeah, no, we should not do that again?
Oh, I think me as a moderator, the mistakes tend to come as in the questions I ask.
Sure.
They're not as direct as they need to be. We're learning. Yeah.
It's management.
Open-ended questions versus that. And I see my style on what works on just a human level is not the same skill set that needs to happen in the studio.
Sure.
So that's where I'm learning. And being a lifelong learner, I love to learn. I love to continue to consume information. This is actually really fun for me because it's like I'm learning a new skill.
Big new skill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is the big one for me because I'm really curious about this. The future of OfferIn and the podcast. I mean, when we set this up, we said, okay, we're looking at 6 months of doing this. We're going to lay out some of this content. What are some of your thoughts in terms of the future of OfferIn, in terms of like, obviously get more people signed up. Podcast wise, I know there's new guests. Expand on that. What are some of the things we're looking forward to?
I mentioned earlier a little bit of the hero versus guide concept, and to really celebrate the heroes out there and be more pro real estate
Nice.
content. not necessarily make it all about OfferIn,
Yep.
but like to bring value to the real estate audience. I mean, it's a super hardworking audience. These people are undervalued. You see online they're getting beat up. Oh, they're paid too much. The average real estate agent, here in Ohio makes between $85,000 to $90,000. Good living, but you're not breaking that 100K threshold.
Sure.
And college grads come out, and some of those are making comparable numbers. Real estate agents working day, night,
Weekends.
all the time.
Holidays.
Yes. It's like, I actually talked to a guy 2 weeks ago that had 2 offers on Christmas morning. And it's like, here is kind of a celebrated national holiday, regardless of your religious preference. But like, here's a guy that was receiving offers on Christmas morning. Another agent told me last week he got a text from a client at 5:13 in the morning. And it's like, okay, this is a real estate agent. If it was running a business, like, would you expect your attorney to like, would you email them that, or would you email like, or whatever else, right? It's like, people typically have business hours. For whatever reason, real estate agents don't. Like, these are super hardworking people, dedicated, very relational. So I think it continue to bring a value to that audience. We're going to rebrand the moon with OfferIn on it. I don't know if you heard that, but Elon Musk is talking to us about taking OfferIn to the moon, which would be great. I'm just kidding, by the way. That's the goal for the future, you asked. But as we continue to grow and expand and bring value to this audience.
It is an O.
Yeah, that's true. So that is the goal. Podcasting, I think, is a critical part of that, because it's content generating. We need short form content, long form content. And this is a way to connect with an audience for educational purposes. That is the end goal of this podcast, continue to help us create content for that audience.
It's funny because one of the things that I like is you guys are very much set up as this is not I feel like we get some podcasters that look at podcasting as the marketing channel. You guys realize this is the support to other efforts that are going on, and that it gives you that content that makes sure that you guys are the experts. You guys are you're the heroes.
Yeah.
But it is not the one that is going to grab you 10 million users.
No. Let's think about how people consume information, right? Like so many different channels. I might like Instagram, LinkedIn. My wife might like Instagram.
Sure.
Other people might like Facebook. Some people like listen to podcasts on, their devices, or whatever they're going to download on a podcast, Apple, whatever,
right.
Spotify, or they might watch it on YouTube.
Yep.
It's all like, people are different. So you have to be on all of these forms of content. This helps with SEO, which is supposedly dying, and also supposedly not dying. I don't know. It depends on who you talk to. And then the GEO part with it, generated optimization from AI and how that's moving and changing. I think the goal is, and this is me, my opinion, is to get as much content out in the marketplaces and all of the possible channels. And that's what's really going to connect. So this I don't see as optional. This is not something that is a one-stop shop. This is part of a larger integration of our marketing strategy to capture all the audience that's available in that space. So podcasting is the most fun. I actually don't enjoy creating content for social channels. I don't. So this is the easy button for me.
This is the fun one.
Yeah. So that's our approach and strategy.
Yeah, so the big question that I always like to cap things off with, if you could give one piece of advice to business owner, CEO, marketer that is thinking, should I start a podcast? Shouldn't I? What would that piece of advice be?
Well, do a podcast. How about that? So that would be truly. I think.
Why would you tell them that?
Yeah.
I don't get me wrong. I absolutely love that advice. I think that is the best advice on the planet. Thank you. I'll give you the $10 later.
I thought it was 20.
20 it is. Way to bargain.
Yeah.
You're gonna make me the jerk on the air? No. Why do you feel it is important and a key?
It is. So for me, content creation, what we've been able to do from the podcast is not necessarily super pumped about, the people watching and listening to the podcast. but it's actually the content that's created and how we can multi-use it across multiple channels. So if a business owner is not creating content and pushing it out to all the channels, they will lose.
Sure.
AI is not coming. AI is here.
Yeah.
And so AI is also changing the game, not just way things are done today, but the way they're going to be done in the future. And they're going to continue to, they, as in this mysterious AI, they, but they are going to, AI is going to continue to capture market share over time. And content has to live everywhere. And that's where, AI is actually going to feed people. That's consumers are going to AI to capture information. Yeah. Less on that, less on the search side, more on the AI side. So as they continue to do that, if you're not creating content, that's when and how you'll lose. So to business owners, the podcast helps generate that. Think about, you're chatting for an hour. Okay. It's not just for one piece of content. You're going to get 20, 30 pieces of content out of that 1 hour conversation. Or if it's less, if it's 20 minutes, you capture 3, 4, 5 things. So that's the idea, is that in my head, and I believe I'm correct.
The maths, yeah, as the teenagers would say.
Yeah. So you're generating content enough to be able to push out. It helps you create and compete in that place on a time efficiency and energy efficiency perspective.
Oh, look at that. You even got efficient on us.
Yeah, love that word.
Yeah, that's efficiency. Especially as we're not getting younger.
No. What? Come on.
We're trying.
Yes.
We're trying.
Yeah.
After some of the stuff, I always say, I have spent 47 years treating my body like a rental car. It's
and I had a previous boss for many, many, many years that would say, you never wash a rental car. And if you think about it, like, you take care of things you own.
Yep.
But if you rent it, it's like,
right.
Why would I wash a rental car? It's a rental. No. So you've been trashing on yourself, like all 47?
Maybe a little bit.
Oh, I doubt that. I doubt that.
Well, Darrin, thank you. I really appreciate the time today. I'm sure the audience is going to appreciate the insights. So. For any realtors that we have listening, go check out the OfferIn platform. It's cool. As I've gotten to know these guys and what they are doing with it, it's unique, and it really does solve a problem. And I'm not just saying this because he's sitting across the table from me. I would say
slide that $20 right back to you.
Right. I will be right back with our summary, and we will go from there. So Darrin's left. He's gone. He's out of the studio. I kicked him out here before I wanted to do the summary. But if he was, and plus he had some things to do, but if he was still sitting here, I would still be saying the same things. Is the big thing that I love about what OfferIn is doing is they're giving that value. Initially, when they came to me and we started talking about doing the podcast, we looked at a number of different ways to do it. And I actually presented them with a list of, here's 17 podcasts, here's how to do them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And all of it was educational still, but it was all geared towards, like, OfferIn, their platform was kind of the answer to every question that was going to be presented. They've since pivoted in just a few episodes to realize that, hey, we just need to help people. Once again, I've been preaching this for all of these. Everyone that's doing a podcast from a giving standpoint is seeing that success. And to me, that's why, same thing, why we're doing this, is I want to take lessons from other podcasters and not only learn them for myself, but obviously transfer those lessons to you to show, like, hey, look, here's some of the ins, outs, and rights and wrongs, and here's the things that maybe it's a mistake that someone's made that they can prevent you from making, which to me is just that's the greatest gift ever. But once again, they're this place of education, this place of giving, knowing that they're going to build this following. Now, what's interesting is we had a conversation when they first were talking about doing this, about the follower count and things of that nature. They're like, we want to talk to everyone. And they still have a little bit of that. Whereas he mentioned, look, instead of talking to the one client, we want to talk to the 10 people because we want to help the 10 people. and we realize that one person will come along. I like that philosophy. It's different than what I normally look at. It's different than what I normally do. I typically try and be very targeted in who we're talking to. We're trying to talk to podcasters. I realize exactly who my audience is and what age range it is, whether they're male or female, all those things. They're being more general about it. But I think it's because of the way they're delivering their message and the honesty and earnest behind it is why they're starting to see some success with it. The other thing that I truly love, and with Darrin being the learner that he is he's come a long way. And even before we hit record on the very first episode, Darrin put in a ton of work. The fact that he looks at this as something that, hey, I want to get better. It's a ton of fun and I want to get better at it. To him, I know he bicycles all the time. We've had numerous biking things, conversations. It's like a sport to him to a certain extent. It's, hey, we went out, we did good, but we can always do better. So I want to practice. I want to research. I want to take that up to that next level. And to me, it's truly one of the reasons why I enjoy working with him and Ben and Kevin and everyone else. But to me, it shows that you can make your podcast better, and you should make your podcast better. It's taking the time to go back. It's listening to episodes. It's looking at other episodes. It's modeling your information after some other people's. How do they approach this? What can I use from their approach that I can bring over into my podcast? What are some things that I can add to this? To me, those are all like keys to making sure that your podcast gets better with time. We have all seen those podcasts where there's a couple of viewers to it and you realize like they're 70 or 80 episodes in, and the 80th episode, it may look a little different, but it doesn't really sound any different than the first episode. To me, those are the ones where you're kind of like, they enjoy it. They may not want to get all that better at it. They may not want to get any better at it. That's okay. It's okay to be that way. But if you truly want your business to move forward, your marketing to move forward, your culture to move forward, any one of those, it's just like anything else. It's taking that time, going back, listening to your podcast and saying, what do I do that screws me up? To me, I'm going to be flat honest with it. I caught myself earlier today. I still am saying far too many ums. Now you're going to hear them. I get it. But it's something that I'm working on, and it's something that I'm looking at all the time. How can I get better? With that being said, if you're curious as to how you can get better, let's talk. Let's do our 30-minute no pitch podcast consultation. There's no pitch. I am 100% here to help. Whatever podcasting. Wow. I guess I need to take a speech class. Whatever podcasting questions you have, we're going to look at cameras. We're going to look at all those things, talk about microphones. Whatever questions you have, we're going to answer them the best we can. With that being said, the links are going to be in the show notes for you. Do me a favor. Take care of yourself. If you can, take care of someone else also. I will see you very, very soon.